This cheap vacation that I take every once in a while when I need a break. $10 or less is all that I pay. I grab a six-pack to go and I'm on my way. I'm gonna get some comfort back on the other side of a six-pack. Just a quick trip and I'll be back from the other side of a six-pack. Some say that's no trip to take. 6 bottles deep puts a smile on my face. Matters most gets clear, my worries fade away, and I'm a better man after a short stay. I'm gonna get some comfort back on the other side of a six-pack. Just a quick trip and I'll be back from the other side of a six-pack. Here we go. I'm gonna get some comfort back on the other side of a six-pack. Just a quick trip and I'll be back from the other side of a six-pack. From the other side of a six-pack. I'll be right back.
Okay, we're here with Tad Overbaugh talking about his music and his new release, Farther From Near. And it's great getting a chance to talk to you. I've really been a fan since Rumbar sent some of your music along, and I definitely got hooked on your sound, which is a little different than a lot of the other Boston bands. Tell me a little bit about how you got started and some of your influences.
Yeah, so let's see. I don't know how far back you want me to go, but I can do a condensed.
Go all the way back to the Kickbacks.
Okay, I'll go to the Kickbacks. So the Kickbacks was, so I had moved to Boston in 1993 just because it was, there's a lot of good music stuff going on, good music scene, and I was just coming from college in Worcester, Clark University, and I moved there with a couple of my friends, and I had tried starting other bands, and eventually the Kickbacks took hold, and we sort of combined a bunch of stuff we liked, like the Replacements, alt country, classic country, kind of a rootsy pop sound, and we went from, we were a four-piece, we eventually, in the best eras of the band, it lasted about 10 years, it was, 97, maybe a little longer, 97 to 2008, and we made 5 records together. And it was a great experience. We played all over the place, all the Boston clubs back then, like TT's and everywhere, Middle East, lots of little dive bars, and we did some touring around New England, played places, New York City, and it was great. People seemed to pick up on what we were doing, and we had just a great band. 2 of those guys still play with me, and Tad Overbaugh and the Late Arrivals, John Burton, who plays drums, and Matt Arnold's my bass player. But they were along for that ride in that band as well. And my good friend Sean Byrne, who plays guitar on most of my records, he was in the Kickbacks, and towards the end he moved to Nashville and became a sideman and a producer and toured with some bigger people. But he's my favorite guitar player, hands down. He's just so creative and tasty. And he actually is on the new record. He's playing most of the leads. Dave Minahan does some of them too, but He does some singing too, backup singing. But that's how that band started. And then eventually we kind of arced and did our thing. And I had little kids at that point around 2008. And it just was, I just felt like it was time to do a new storefront, if you will. And we were flying the flag of the Kickbacks a long time. And there's so many highs and lows in music. It's really a cruel mistress, I like to call it. There's these incredible highs and crushing lows, and then everything in between. And you go through that so many times with the same bunch of guys. It's like good to take a break, because everybody's just like, you get tired of like things working out great and then not working out and all that. But anyways, I wanted to get my name out there more as a songwriter, so I decided to do a solo thing after sort of laying low for about a year, and then I put together Tad Overbow and the Late Arrivals in 2010. And then that's kind of been, I feel like with this band, I went back to where we were there was a record called Blindside View we did, which is probably the biggest record the Kickbacks did. It was the third one. We did it with this producer, Tom Waltz, who was excellent. I learned so much from him, making records and the things you could actually do in the studio and ways you needed to be prepared, and instead of just winging it on these demos we used to do on weekends.
I'm black and blue. When I drove away from you, now I'm all banged up, I'm black and blue. I'm all banged up, I'm black and blue. I'm all banged up, I'm black and blue. I'm all banged up, I'm black and blue.
All right, we're back with Tad Overbaugh talking about his new record, Farther From Near. Well, I wanted to ask you about Dave Minahan because he definitely has an influence on this record.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to know how you hooked up with him and how he's shaped your sound.
Yeah, so Dave is a good friend of mine. He is a very funny guy, super talented. He had his whole thing with the Neighborhoods. They won the Rumble.
That's one of my precious records, Prettiest Girl, that I got back in '79.
Yep.
So he goes way back.
Yeah, he won the Rumble there, and then they had tons of fans in Boston, and but honestly, back in the '80s, because I was in Connecticut, I wasn't aware of how big they got until I got up here. But I know they came to my college on tour when I was in school at Clark in the late '80s, and so anyways, Dave, it's funny with the Kickbacks, we did an EP, Blue Man's Collar, in 1999 with Dave. It's just a 5-songer, and we had a great time. It was back in the Fenway at his old studio. Woolly Mammoth version 1 on Boylston, and that's since been demoed and gentrified and all that. And we actually used to practice underneath there. There was a rehearsal complex. So we met Dave back then, had a great time. When you go through the years with your band, there's other opportunities like to work with this person or that person. Somehow things just kept coming up and taking me other places. And finally, this last time, I was like, you know what? I really want to go back and work with Dave again. We got great sounds on the EP we did a long time ago, and I kept hearing records by my friends that worked with him, and they sounded fantastic. And quite honestly, I was jealous how good it sounded. So I went in and, we cut, I think we were up to 8 songs. We got down to 6 at one point, and then we got back to 7 is where we finished. Some of them don't always survive. They just don't take shape like in a convincing, good way to put out into the world. I mean, there's so much music. You just want to add to the silence instead of just put every single thing you do out there. So I pulled 1, but we ended up with 7. And Dave is just like, I don't know. He really puts people in their best light. You go in and you if you just show up and you have your plan and what you want to do, he's just like, as he calls himself, he used to have an ad. He called himself a sonic escort, where it used to be in the Noise magazine in Boston, and he's like, I'm gonna take you to where you want to be sonically and all that. But what was great with Dave is because he was in the Replacements, the reunion stuff, and played with Paul Westerberg and all that back in '93 on the tour. We had between the Replacements and just other just rock and roll influences, and he likes country stuff too and all that. It was great because we just didn't have to talk about a lot. It's like, here's a song, and it's like, oh yeah, what if we did that, or what if we did that? And it was just so natural and fun and easy, and we would both just kind of get excited by the ideas we were piling on. And we're also equally as good at and seem to agree on things that we just, that's not good, let's not use that part or whatever. And he was very supportive. We cut the bass and drums in the studio, and then to save myself a little money, I have a small studio at my house, so I recorded my acoustic and electric guitars. And then going back to my friend Sean Byrne from Nashville, it was in the Kickbacks, who's played on almost all my stuff. He cut tracks for the record remotely and sent them to us. So we kind of made this almost collage of what we had from my home tracks. I sang all the vocals in the studio because Dave had a really nice, he's got a great mic in there that sounds good with my voice. So, but yeah, that's how I met up. And he's a good friend. We became better friends over the I took a couple years to make because you have to spread out the money and the time off from work and all that. So, but anyways, another long answer, long.
Well, let's hear a track from the album. I'd love to hear what inspired the song "Mended Man." Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
All right. So you want the condensed or the short story? There's so my friend Sean again. That tune. It's funny. We sometimes trade songs and music, and usually I just write my own stuff. I write it by myself. He had some music, the music to that song, just on acoustic and just a little demo, no lyrics. And he's like, can you use this for something? It sounds like it's one of your songs. And I heard it and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I will. Or actually, I misunderstood him. I thought he wanted me to write lyrics to it and give it back to him, and he was going to use it, and he wanted sort of my stamp on it. So I wrote it and put it in Dropbox, and I was like, hey, here you go. This is what I did, and I sang a little demo vocal over it, and then it sat for like 5 years. So I was working on new songs for this record, and I was like, I stumbled on that in my song vault, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. I like how this just unfolds as a song and everything. And I asked him, he's like, no, that was for you. So he wasn't going to use it. It was more the music. So yeah, and that song really is about, so it's framed as like a guy who's alone and he finds connection and he's fixed, right? Is kind of how the song goes. But really what truly inspired it is, for me in life, connection is just very important, whether it's with people, a cool piece of music gear I got, or great record or book or movie or whatever, or hang out with a friend or good talk. Connection is just like, it recharges your batteries, it makes you feel plugged in, and kind of shakes off all the scratches and bruises of life that you might have, and you just feel like you're charged back up to go forward. And that feeling of being the mended man and feeling like you're healed up and ready to go again is sort of what that song is celebrating. It's more along the lines of a relationship where somebody really, but even though it sounds romantic in the song, it could be about a friendship or a romantic or a piece of gear.
All right, well, let's hear it right now. Here's Tad Overbaugh with Mended Man.
Expected to I used to sit on the same bar stool with my friends Lonely and Blue. I don't see them anymore now, thanks to you. And sadness, I won't be drinking soon. My broken heart has just been glued. I'm a mended man now, thanks to you. It's my going number at my company. I never thought I would be these 5 digits 5 days a week. I'm 14,873. Not sure how this came to be. Life inside a thankless machine. A kid that turns faithfully but never gets an increase. I'm 14,873. Faithfully, but never gets an increase. I'm 14,873. Each day I have the same daydream. It's an exit ramp to somewhere else for me, with no thankless machines. And I no longer have to be 14,873. 14,873.
All right, we're back with Tad Overbaugh talking about his new record, Farther From Near. And there's some great rockers on this that really have... If it's the first time you're hearing it, you'd swear you're from the South, but they're really just kind of Americana, I guess, is what people call it. But it's still got a lot of Boston rock in it.
Yeah, it's like that sort of mix of... it's the collision of maybe like Tom Petty, Steve Earle, Paul Westerberg. There's some twang and roots to it, but then there's some just good, hopefully rock and roll and hooks and all that. And hopefully it comes across as just, I try to make my music have a little depth. Like it's either got like maybe some deeper stuff going on, but then there's also hopefully some funny and witty stuff, and not just a downer, and and try to just convey like little snapshots of life that I've either lived or seen in a way. And with this record, I tried to make it sort of diverse. The other sector I really have come to like over the last few years is rockabilly. I never really explored that too much, and there's a few songs on there like 14,873 and Only Happy at Happy Hour that are kind of more in that zone. Again, I like the tight little song structures, and the riffage on the guitars is always fun, and I like the old guitar sounds that are on those. So we managed to get, I thought those two came out pretty close. They don't sound exactly like the old stuff, but as far as like maybe a more vintage modern version, so yeah.
Well, that song, The Other Side of a Six Pack, one of your previous songs.
I have a good story about that.
Good. Tell me.
So I was reading, I I used to love those magazines. I religiously for years used to go pick up Uncut and Mojo. Did you know this from the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those magazines. So I'd go over to Borders or Barnes and Noble, and so I was reading this review, and I forget who it was, but the reviewer was saying this man's not afraid to go to explore the darkness on the other side of a 12-pack. And I thought that was so funny. It also was like, oh yeah, that could be dark, I guess, when you're that drunk and confused and upset about something. But I thought to myself, I'm like, if you just went to the other side of a 6-pack, that's a pretty happy place. Like I'm in a good spot. And again, like the men-to-man thing, it's like you go there once in a while, it's a great reset. It just kind of flushes your soul out. Not that I'm encouraging drinking, but for me, now it's a 3-pack is all I need. But back then, the 6, you sort of let everything just kind of, it almost feels like a big exhale, and you can just sit there and be like, what really matters and what doesn't. And I always found that feeling. So that song, I get another rockabilly kind of country one. I dressed it up in that sort of fun vibe of, this is sort of silly, but it's also a great place to go.
Well, there's a lot of humor in your songs, and I think that's an important thing these days that gets lost a lot of times. That song July on the new album, kind of a uplifting type of song too.
Yeah, it's funny. If anything, I thought that was the sadder one, because it's about it's celebrating July. That's my favorite month of the year. I always felt, so I always saw summer as July was Saturday and August is Sunday. So Saturday, you're not thinking about Monday or anything or any responsibility. You're like free time, fun, go have a great experience. And Sunday, the responsibility starts creeping in. And August, same thing. September, school, end of the nice weather, end of potential vacation coming up. And I was celebrating, I always am so sad when July goes. It's just like a relationship ending.
Yeah, the summer ends a little early here in New England.
Yeah, and so July, to me, I always feel sadness, and that song is about it. I wrote it like July's a girlfriend or something, but I wish it could stay forever. I don't mind the heat, and I love being lost right in the heart of center, where I don't have to worry about responsibility for the most part for a little while.
Well, you've got a record release party coming up at Sally O'Brien's in Somerville the 26th of September, and definitely looking forward to getting a chance to see you perform live. This record is really great. Any other plans beyond that?
No. Well, first of all, thank you for saying all that, and thanks for coming if you make it. Obviously, no pressure. That's at 7 p.m. at Sally O'Brien's. Our friends, the Modern Day Idols, have a single release party. They're going to open up, and then we're going to play a longer set after, but not too late. We'll start probably 8:15, 8:30. Just kind of, it's nice to have a big party after you make one of these. It always feels like it's hard to birth out these records, even though they're fun and all. There's a lot of high focus and just trying to make sure stuff comes out convincing, right? Not just like, again, it adds to the silence and just isn't like, okay, here's another song in the pile. Like I don't know, there's so much music out there these days. It's hard. Sometimes I open Spotify and I can't figure out what the hell I want to listen to.
Right. That's kind of what we try to do at WRTC is play as much new music as we can and turn people on to things.
Yeah. But as far as plans go, I'm working with Rum Bar and Lou, and we have the Mended Man single we're promoting now, and we're probably gonna do the song Hurricane Season next, just because it's a little different, and people that have heard it seem to like that.
We might get a hurricane that might help.
Well, I want it to come out right while it's still hurricane season, so hopefully early October it's going to come out, or mid-October after Mended Man sort of does its thing, and but yeah, we'll still. I mean, basically, at this point, there's fewer clubs to play and all that, and it's a tricky landscape to exist in now, especially. Just there's the support networks have gone away, like they used to be in Boston. Like the local radio isn't as strong as it was, and there's not all the, the local zines that were around that listed all the shows, and like people have to seek stuff out more, and it's the younger people aren't coming out as much. Sometimes they're there, and it's not their fault. They don't have stuff to, like we did, to like, hey, here, let's pick up the Boston Phoenix and see what's going on tonight. Like they really got to search it out, and it's just the times have changed. But that being said, we're still having fun playing. It's fun to create, and I love being inside that machine and playing with my friends and live and all that. So we're gonna just still go out and play where we can, and hopefully, bring a fun night out for people that come see us, and until the sun goes down, we'll hopefully still be able to do it.
Well, Rumbar Records, I think, is really helping the scene a little bit by sponsoring as many shows as they can and promoting the artists a lot. It's really been kind of interesting, a lot of the bands I've been turned on to from them. Oh, yeah.
So Lou Mansdorf, another good friend of mine who's the head honcho at Rumbar, is a huge music enthusiast. Just absolutely, he's just so passionate. And, when he gets records in his hand that he likes, he really works hard getting people exposure and reviews and everything he can. So it's great. You need sort of I call these people exciters in the music community, because they do basically the exciting to get people interested in things that otherwise might not pop up on their radar, whether it's shows or records or whatever, and it helps the community just kind of like throb and exist, instead of just being this dead rock, so
Well, definitely want to wish you luck, and I'm getting psyched to see you perform, and hopefully we'll be able to get you down to the Hartford area sometime soon.
Yeah, Dave, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I can't thank you enough for reaching out and having me on and giving the record a listen and some plays and support. It means a lot, and it just helps all the gears keep moving in the band engine for us. I hope to come to Connecticut. Maybe we can come down sometime. Like I said, I grew up in Windsor, just north of Hartford there, and lived there till I was 1992. So.
Well, cool. We'd love to have you come down.
Yeah, it'd be a pleasure.
All right, Tad Overbaugh, thanks so much for coming on WRTC.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure.
You're the Saturday vibe of the summertime, when fireworks fly. Oh, I know that you've arrived. Can't you stay tonight? Can't you stay forever? Don't leave me again, don't leave me, July. Don't leave me again, don't leave me, July. 'Cause 31 days ain't enough of your time. Well, all you stand try with a Sunday style, and January's eyes, yeah, it's never my type. Can't you stay tonight? Can't you stay forever? Don't leave me again, don't leave me, July. Don't leave me again, don't leave me, July. 'Cause 31 days ain't enough of your time. Can't you stay tonight? Can't you stay forever? Don't leave me again, leave me, July. Don't leave me again, leave me, July. 'Cause 31 days